Hello. This is the final part of the sourdough series where we have fed our starter, we mixed our dough, did all the stretch and folds, did everything together. So now we ended last night or yesterday afternoon with our bulk fermentation. We shaped it and we put our dough in the fridge. So this has been sitting in the fridge since yesterday. And now we're gonna bake it. So we're gonna score it and bake it. Now you don't have to do any fancy scoring or any fancy designs. You don't have to do anything if you don't want to. But because I've gone all this way and I love this little heart design, I'm gonna go extra. And I am going to do a fancy scoring on it. So feel free to ignore this part and don't do this part, or feel free to try it if you want to try it. It looks complicated, but it's actually rather simple. All right, so this has been cold fermenting in the fridge since yesterday. So here's what I'm gonna do first. It's nice and cold, so it's gonna be easier to score. I always put my loaves in the fridge, my dough in the fridge first, so that whenever I score it, it just cuts like butter and it is so much easier and holds its shape so much nicer. So for my heart design, this is just kitchen twine, regular old kitchen twine. It has soaked in water to try and prevent it from sticking. So I just made a cross. Basically, I just made a little pizza there. All right, now I got my parchment paper. I'm gonna flip it over. This is from that rice flour that was on the Banneton. If you noticed, it didn't stick at all. That rice flour works amazing. Okay. Now we're just gonna tie our ends together. Now again, this is just an extra step. You don't have to do this step. You could just go ahead, score it, and get it in the oven. But I am going the extra mile and doing a really pretty heart-shaped design. So if you want to try it, by all means do. If you want to skip this part, by all means do. I have the oven preheating. I have my Dutch oven in the oven and it is preheating. It's at 450 degrees right now. It's preheating while I get this ready. So I'm just going to tie all four ends into that pizza shape. And then I will cut these. I'll move it if I need to. Last one. Kind of try to make it even so it'll tie even. There we go. All right, now I'm gonna cut these little ends. Now this little fancy heart-shaped scoring design is one that we are gonna learn to do in the February class. So if you're joining the February class, then this is one that we will be doing, and it's really a fun one. Whenever you see the design already done, you're like, how did that work out? But once you actually see how it's done, it's actually pretty simple. All right, so I got my stuff on. I'm just gonna lightly flour it. Sometimes I use rice flour for this. Sometimes I just use regular flour. This is just regular flour. Now, the more flour you have on here, the nicer your design will pop. So basically, all this is just for aesthetic purposes for your design. This doesn't do anything to the dough, but makes it pretty. So if I were to do the heart design without doing this flour on here, you would hardly even be able to see it. So what makes it pop is this flour. Now, you don't want too much flour, like where it's clumped up, because then it'll just kind of look a little too ugly. So just kind of put some on there and then slightly dust off any excess. Too much excess. All right, now we're gonna need a couple things. You're gonna need your cutting device, whatever bread lame that you want. You could use a razor blade, not anything that's sharp. This is just my preference. I love the way it holds, and it's just a razor blade and it's held in there. I love this one. And then you're gonna need some scissors. So here's what we're going to do. So basically the heart is at each one of these. So this is going to turn into one heart. That's going to turn into another heart. So each section, there's going to be 4 hearts. Each section turns into a heart. And then these twines help me to be able to design it, where the heart's going to go. So I'm going to start. This is a little bit more advanced scoring. Like you need a little bit of technique because you're going to be kind of turning and all that kind of stuff. I need to get my little, what's they call the things in the middle? Lazy Susan. That's pretty helpful. But this works kind of like a Lazy Susan. So, all right, if you see my head in the frame, sorry, I can't see my camera. So if anybody's making comments, I can't see them the way my camera is angled. Okay, so just watch because I can't really explain it. But basically, we're going to start here and go up. And this is going to go into here and turn into the heart. So you'll see. So I start here, up, curve it down. And then I start again, curve it down, try to make it even. And there's my heart. And you don't want to do it too deep, because if you score it too deep, then it'll just, whenever it bakes, it'll just come out of the seams. And then it won't even look like anything because you went too deep. So pretty lightly. This is not for any purpose for steam escaping. This is just a really pretty design, so don't make it too deep, because the deeper you go, the more the steam will escape and it'll just bust out. So all 4, each section turns into a half heart, which turns into a full heart. All right, and then I do a little one, tiny one in the center. So another tiny one in the center. And then I'm gonna do I'll go back in and do an outline of it too, which is really pretty. Sometimes they turn out pretty, sometimes my hand kind of slips. But the end result typically turns out pretty good. And the more you do it, the better you'll get at it, the steadier your hand will get. All right, so now I'm going to do an outer layer, and then I'm going to cut in between, so you'll see how it looks after I do it. So I'm basically tracing the same outline, making it bigger than my original little heart. Oops, sorry, I just bumped the camera. Making an outline. Try to make it, see, I went too thin there. Try to make it thick because you're going in with the scissors and you want it to, this little outline to stand out. All right. Now I'm going to go in some of the spots I didn't really go quite deep, and if you want it to separate just ever so slightly, if you can see how it'll start to separate ever so slightly, because I'm going to go in with the scissors, watch, and you want it, basically you're going to go in between those 2 edges and you're going to cut around the whole thing. Just swift little cuts. So it should just be this slight little thin layer at the top that you're cutting. You're not getting in there deep at all. It's just, you can hardly even tell you're cutting. It's almost just a little score, not a real true cut. I'd have to measure it, but like a 1/16 of an inch, if that. Sorry, I can't see your comments. Let me see. Let me double check the camera. Kate, so cute. I've been working on the heart shapes. Yay! Show me yours. I want to see yours. There's so many. I love February because there's so many fun designs that you can do with hearts. I just love it. This one has been my favorite. I did this one last year and had some little pop-up sales on it last year, and it was super popular. So when this February is coming around, I get super excited again. See, I feel like right here I could go a little bit deeper. That way it'll expand just a little bit, or else it's not really going to turn out. So go a little deeper there. And again, totally unnecessary. This could have already been in the oven and halfway done baked by now. So don't do this step if you're short on time. This is just for extra. Probably could have gone a little bit thicker with that. You see how it looks better whenever it's thicker? I went a little too thin there. It looks better whenever it's thicker and it turns out better, but it is what it is. And then the last thing I do is, because I kind of want the hearts to kind of pop up a little bit. So what I'm going to do here is not at the outline, but here at the edge, I'm going to use my scissors and slightly deeper, kind of just lift up that edge ever so slightly, and that will help whenever it bakes, this little edge to kind of slightly lift, and it almost kind of gives like a 3D look to your hearts. So if you don't do this step, it will still be beautiful, but this again gives it ever so slight of a lift whenever it bakes. So if I'm going all the way, I'm gonna go all the way. And all it is just separating it a little bit deeper to allow it. It's the same thing if you took the classes in December and we did the Christmas trees. Remember how we snipped the edges of the Christmas trees in the middle and then that Christmas trees just popped? Same concept here for the hearts. And I've been seeing a lot of, well, I guess maybe in January, in December, of y'all that took the classes with the trees. Oh my gosh, y'all are doing so good. Just took it off. I love seeing updates. So thank y'all for including me in the updates. I hate being left hanging. And I'm like, okay, now what happened? I need the updates. Don't leave me hanging. Lift it just a little bit. Ah. And that's it. I'm gonna let this bake in the Dutch oven at 450 for 20 minutes with the lid on. And then at 20 minutes, I will take the lid off and I will let it cook for roughly another 20 minutes or until the internal dough temperature is about 205, somewhere around there. Or basically just some people like it light, some people like it dark. So do whatever you wish. Now I need to go. It's so hot, so let me go get, before it burned my counter. Something to put this on. Running out of counter space for lunch.
I'm done with school.
Okay, hold on. I'm on a video right now. You're done with school? Okay, good job. Hold on. I'm on a video right now. Ask. I'll be right back. Okay. Yeah. Okay, excuse me. Excuse me. Oh gosh. Okay, really hot Dutch oven. Whew. Should be steaming. It's steaming Okay. Don't touch that, it's really hot.
They're hard to hunt.
Lay it on, and that's it. 20-minute timer. All right. Now if I could figure out how to turn this around. All right, guys, that's it. So I'll just post a picture update later. That was the main point. We did the whole loaf together. We have now at the point where we're baking it. So I know there's Megan and there's a couple of y'all, I can't remember your names, that are going to be doing yours today too. So refer back to the videos if you haven't started and you want to see from the beginning of the series. Go back to, you can go on the profile. The videos are all on there where we fed our starter the night before, mixed it yesterday morning, did all the steps. So you can still go back and rewatch and follow along. If you have any questions on how much to feed your starter, let me know, because depending on the time that you actually mix your loaf will depend on how much you want to feed it. So just let me know and we'll get you to it. So thank y'all. See y'all later.